Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast, UFC 299 weekend. We are here live and in audio. I was going to say in color, but you can't see us. But I can see you listening in your car or on your bed right now as you do stuff. All right. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Ty Capone. Ty, how are you feeling? Are you excited? I know you are actually excited, but what's it like down in the Pete? I know it was raining yesterday when we talked. I hope it is a better day than it was yesterday.
Yeah, today is pretty beautiful. It's sunny, very sunny. 78, solid. If I did wake up like a normal person, I would have went to the pool, but slept in a little bit. But yeah, I'm super excited for this card. I will be, I believe, at a little bit of a watch party with a friend of mine, and his boss is making brisket all day. I'm in. That's all I needed to hear. I'm in. When I was in KC, I had all the brisket in the world, and it was phenomenal. So it should be fun. There's going to be a lot of alcohol flowing. There's going to be a lot of fight. There's a lot of fucking fights.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good fights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a quality card. You know what I mean? It's not like one of these cards where we're waiting all night till 1 a.m. to see the trade, the main event that we're all waiting for. The co-main event might even be the biggest takeaway from this card. Let's say Dustin Poirier gets absolutely put out bad, which me and you we're hoping for. That might be it.
Yeah,
that might be the biggest moment. But then you got the Michael Venom Page making his debut. Maybe JDM gets exposed. This whole card is just nuts. So
it's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. I am fired up for this though, because you go back and look at 297's main card and compare it to, or even the prelims, and compare it to some of the stuff you're going to see Saturday night. It's head and shoulders above that. I mean, we were watching Raquel Pennington and Mayra Buenos Silva have a clinch battle. Yeah, in a co-main event.
I was at this local sports bar. It's just right down the street from my house, and I was like, "Damn, dude, this place is like the only reason they're open is because the fights are still on." It's like 1 a.m. What are we doing?
Yeah,
like what the fuck? These girls are still fighting, and that was bad. Also, Mike Malott falling apart. It's like midnight 30, and I'm like, dude, come on. We're starting off the card with Jimmy Flick.
Yeah,
I did cash out.
It was one of the only bets we hit that night.
Yeah, we didn't hit much, but Jimmy Flick sub. Yeah, we're here. Arm triangle, dude. Arm triangle's going to happen this weekend too. Just a little broadcast for the future.
Yeah, arm triangles are kind of going down in PFL Paris or whatever. Listen, ladies and gentlemen,
there's a lot of people.
As we
down.
record this, there is a card going down in the PFL, a little PFL Paris. You got to go and watch some of the highlights of what's going on there, because people are taking fixes. There's all sorts of stuff going on. I mean, I just watched a guy lazily walk through the octagon like he's on drugs and then get head kicked, and then he probably felt like he was on drugs after he got head kicked. And that was it for him. What is even the main event? Is that like
It's Cedric Doumbé.
Yeah.
He's fighting this guy who's 7-0. It looks like he's from Chechnya, but he's French.
Okay.
And then the Lazy King, Abdul Ragimov, is in the co-main against Jack Grant. Mr. Jack Grant does not have a nickname, so he's probably going to lose. Regardless, he lost to Ian Machado Gary way back on the Cage Warriors. That's how I remember him. But that card's, I mean, it's okay. I mean, there's 6 first-round finishes and 4 were subs. So that's kind of cool.
Can you even bet that here in the States? I doubt it. I don't know. I mean,
maybe
on the offshore
after seeing what we just saw.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would want to do that, but it looks like we're getting to the good part of the card. So I guess we'll have that to watch as this day goes on. But
there you go. So
Stefan Struve out there interviewing people, or not interviewing people.
I thought you were about to say he's getting in the cage. I was like, oh
no.
Man.
No, him and Dan Hardy are the announcers. So,
as my friend would call him, human NyQuil, the Stefan Struve. So before we get into the fights and we give our picks and predictions, which we will, ladies and gentlemen, there has been some breaking news, some fight news within the boxing world, Ty, the world that you love so much. Jake Paul has a new opponent he is going to fight. July 20th at AT&T Stadium. That's where the Cowboys play in Dallas, Texas.
That place will be packed. Just before we go any further, that place is going to be packed to the gills, I bet.
Probably. It shouldn't be, but it will be.
I'll be tuned in, unfortunately.
I will be tuned in as well because he is fighting Iron Mike Tyson, which this is I can't believe that this is even a thing, that this is even reality, that this is even a possibility. I will say, if it's not a professional bout, then I don't want anything to do with it because it's just going to be a rerun of one of them Triller cards that they used to run back in the day. But Iron Mike Tyson is 57 years old, Ty. He is going to try and, I guess, end the magical run that has been this Jake Paul boxing experience. He'll be 58 by the time this fight actually does go off. The fight is going to happen on Netflix. So a lot of different, a lot of random shit happening, a lot of new kind of options becoming available. Netflix getting into the live sports game, which is a little bit different. But, Ty, what do you make of Mike Tyson coming back? I mean, how long ago was it? 4 years ago? That he fought Roy Jones Jr. in a exhibition bout, I believe.
Yeah, it was 2020, around November 28th,
November
2020.
Yeah,
that was 8 rounds against a guy who's probably might be more washed up than he was. Before that, I think he had a exhibition fight in 2006.
Yes,
there was no scoring, so that's cool. And before that is when he sadly ended his pro career, getting absolutely eviscerated by Kevin McBride, who went on to go 2-6 after that fight, also getting his knocked out pretty badly. Mm-hmm. So, and before that, I lost to Danny Williams, who was bad. Lennox Lewis beat the brakes off him, way too long after. He was pretty much cooked at that point. And do you remember about less than 2 years ago? There was a picture. It was like summer of 2022. A picture surfaced of Mike Tyson in a wheelchair with sciatica issues or something, and then he said his death was coming really soon.
What are we doing?
He looks he looks to be doing good now. I guess he's still training and whatnot, but he's 30 years older. He's going to probably be smaller than Jake. I know he used to fight at heavyweight, but he's a short fella. I don't know if he's as big as he was back then or what kind of shape he's in, but either way, he's going to be overmatched speed-wise. He's not going to have any dude, he's going to get put out stiff. And it's going to be so sad.
Why are we doing this? Why this is what I don't understand. Why would he say yes to this? Like, is he making a gross amount of money?
He's probably making a lot of money. He's probably broke. I would assume. Also, in a way, if Jake Paul's going to, people want him to fight like legit heavyweights or legit light heavyweights and legit boxers, which I don't know if I put him in the ring with top 5, top 10 guys right away. That's what people want. They're like, you claim you're a boxer. Why don't you go fight, this guy? I'm like, he probably shouldn't fight some of these champion level. He probably shouldn't fight Myers Breedis or any of these guys. But the guy he just fought, that's like people he should be fighting. But if you want to, get some interest, you might as well fight a big name. And what kind of bigger name in boxing is there than Mike Tyson? I see the angle. I see it.
I understand it, but
that last fight, who the fuck is Ryan Borland? The fucking Rhino. Nobody knew who that guy was, So now it's going to be different. There's going to be like a shit talking angle. I'm sure maybe Mike Tyson, maybe he just channels his inner self and just goes crazy. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't even make it to the fight. What's your prediction?
Isn't there someone who's not eligible for AARP that he could fight?
He's close. He's almost technically, what is he? What's elderly status? Isn't that 60?
60 or 65.
So
I'm not sure. Like
he's like almost technically a senior citizen.
And this is a man who, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is one of the great boxers of all time, a guy who, was one of the most must-see fighters on the planet at a given time. And this is what we're doing, though. Now he's fighting the problem child, Jake Paul, who, I just can't, for the life of me, understand why. Even Jake. I mean, I guess I understand. I honestly, when I say that, then I understand it though, because it's just a money grab, right? Like that's what all of these fights have been pretty much this entire time. Because, like
and the
you
last
said, though,
one did nothing. The main event, Amanda Serrano got canceled. He fought this guy who's a nobody. Like that was a net negative for him and his team. His MVP promotions. He's probably going to put Ashton Silva on the undercard on this one, maybe in a bigger fight to finally showcase him. He's got to get some kind of co-main or a decent undercard somehow, which I think he can. He has a couple fighters signed under him, and he's been able to put cards together before. But maybe Bryce Hall. I don't know if you saw the tweets of Bryce Hall and Ryan Garcia. Apparently, both of them were taken to the Grove when they were 2 years old. I don't know what's going on in the Ryan Garcia world. It gets weirder by the hour. But yeah, I don't know, man. This is going to be a weird event, a weird fight. I want to see the rules. I want to see if it's a pro fight. I want to see all that.
That's important for me because, again, I am scarred that they let us bet that on FanDuel. I will never forget that Jake Paul actually fought Nate Robinson that night, I believe, and put him in a body bag. Shout
out to Paul Pierce.
Shout out to Paul. Then Paul Pierce lose his job that night, I think, or the next morning. I don't know what.
He's like, let's go, Nate. Come on, Nate. And then it just quickly pans to him sleeping. He's like, oh, Nate, what happened? Damn. It's like, they're going to war in PFL Europe. Oh, he's down.
Oh no, Mark Goddard is.
He's losing it.
I think they put money on just, hey, listen, if you go out there and kill this guy in a minute, you get extra, a little couple thousand. But
we'll give you a trip to the Louvre for free.
To wrap this up, though, of course, the sick thing is, I will be watching. I absolutely will.
I will be placing money on this if I can.
I also don't know if I will be legally watching it, or I hope one of my friends buys it, and I won't pitch any money whatsoever. Oh, that's true.
I guess it might be. Well, I don't know if they're going to charge on top of it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I guess
Netflix. Honestly, we'll see how the success of the Amazon card is March 30th, and see what kind of what kind of issue, just what it looks like its debut, and then Netflix is going to adapt from there, and I bet they're going to have a great product. Honestly,
it's probably
kind of different broadcasts.
Yep.
There's a lot of people are going to want to be there. I think. Yeah, I'm excited for the live streaming sports era.
Do you think Mike Tyson has any chance?
Probably not. No.
The man was walking with a cane a couple years ago. So.
Yeah. He's gonna have to. Yeah. No.
You were about to click into breakdown mode, and you went, nah.
I was gonna be he's gonna have to take all the psilocybin. He's gonna have to do all the rituals with all the experimental drugs to get himself right. But he does that on a daily basis anyway, so I don't think that's going to matter. He might have to, eat some Flintstone vitamins. Jake Paul's dude, he's 30 years younger. That's so crazy.
Yeah. This seems like a large waste of resources.
Imagine Iron Mike just fires off a patented uppercut and sleeps Jake Paul. That would be insane.
That's why people will be watching. That's why I'll be watching for that possibility right there that you just said. I would hope that he just gets put in a body bag and Mike Tyson can be like, yeah, I told that motherfucker.
Kind of sounds like Nate Diaz a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does. No, but I it is what it is. I feel like we had to talk about it just because it's so ridiculous and so insane. But I honestly feel bad for Mike that he had I hope he doesn't have to take this fight, but something tells me that you wouldn't take this fight unless you absolutely had to. If Muhammad Ali was still alive, Jake Paul would still be trying to fight him.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's a big name. That's what he'd be saying.
And then
Fox office. And they'd be trying to knock him out off of his walker and stuff. All right, that's enough. But congratulations to Jake Paul and Mike Tyson for for stealing more money from the American public and honestly the international public. But Ty, on that note,
quick,
good.
Did you see Jared Brooks, the fellow we were talking about the other day, that got punished for slam knocking out a fella? He got punished for it. He almost Chatri and ONE FC were going to give him 0% of his purse until his manager had to beg to get 50%. How fucking crazy is that?
I would never fight there.
There's such a clear reason why ONE FC is in the shitter financially and in all other ways. and why people speak. Sage Northcutt recently was like, yo, these guys are fucking, like, the way they do business is crazy. Like, this is just helping the UFC. They're like, yeah, look at how these other organizations are doing business and how they're, look at the smart, we're calling it the smart cage. These guys are calling the cage the smart cage and trying to put emphasis on that. These guys aren't even paying their fighters. They're like, yo, we're going to give you an L and not pay you. Just,
with your fake ass rules.
Yeah, with their fake rules that they don't even know about.
Pulling out yellow cards in the middle of a fucking fight.
2 yellow cards and a red. I thought 2 yellows was a red.
That's what I thought.
In soccer, but I guess we're not doing soccer. We're doing our own thing. I don't know, but either way, I thought that was kind of noteworthy. Also, hopefully, Jared Brooks gets another shot in the UFC where he'll not have to fight under crazy nonsense like that. Also, Timur Valiev is fighting this weekend in ACA. He's trying to get back in his winning ways. So.
Are you excited for the return of Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao?
Forgot to real quick touch on that. Apparently, him and Conor Benn. So, dude, 2/29/24 is when this tweet was from. So not too long ago. But Michael Benson said, Eddie Hearn has stated that Conor Benn's next fight will be a pay-per-view and described the 4 possible opponents. One is a huge name and one of the greatest fighters of our generation. Another is a massive stadium fight, which is a British fella. I don't think Conor Benn can fight in England. Another could be the welterweight world title, which is he was never fighting Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. Conor Benn was never fighting Terrence Crawford for a championship. And the other is a former 2-division world champion. Conor's going to be in a massive fight next. So, not many people. I mean, I guess some people in the replies, a couple people said Pacquiao, but nobody really saw this coming. Pacquiao's 45 years old. Now, the thing is, Conor Benn's, not really that good himself. Also, I don't know how good he's going to be coming off the juice. So, I guess that's cool. But the last time we saw Pacquiao was 2021 when he lost to Yordenis Ugas. I don't even think he was competitive in that fight, if I remember correctly.
I don't think so either. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, 2 years before that, he beat Keith Thurman in an actual very good fight, which I can't believe he won at 4 years old over Keith Thurman, who was like 32 or 31. So, yeah, what do you think about this? They're probably going to have to take this fight into some absolute random location.
They'll have to go to a Native American reservation or something like that. Or like you said, they'll go to Saudi. I think it's already scheduled or it's potentially to go to Saudi. Yeah, that'll be fixed.
They're probably going to
allegedly. Yeah, I mean,
that card will stink. I bet who's going to be on it is Joseph Parker. I bet will be.
I'm sure. That guy, he's just sleeping there and just living there. And they're like, "Yo, dude, you want to fight again?" He's like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, hell yeah." But listen, this is what I'm talking about with the fight game. It's just some of it's just so dirty. But
anytime boxing fans want to talk about the MMA and how fucked up MMA is, I'm like, yeah, just look at what your sport is becoming since Floyd Mayweather. You said the sport was going to flourish without Floyd. It's looking like a joke in so many different ways, Even though this summer is going to be massive for boxing, and I guess sliding these big, weird, gross fights in the middle of all of it, it's fine, I guess. Like, whatever. We have Better Be Evan Beevil coming up in June, so that'll be amazing. I can't wait. I know you can't wait for that one, so... Yeah, it's happening, and it is what it is. These fights are just getting weirder and weirder.
It is what it is, and that's where we go to the next step of this podcast, which is the UFC 299 breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to discuss every fight on this card from top to bottom. I believe there's 14 scheduled fights. Hopefully we don't lose any of these.
Honestly, I don't want to lose. Maybe.
Off the rep, who do you think? Who do you think we lose?
Well, I mean, the Benoit
CJ Vergara is my guess.
CJ Vergara, yeah, he's going to miss weight by like 6 pounds, and they're going to we can't do this. He has missed weight before. Yeah, Kudalaba. Remember Kudalaba and Lynch? The first time they were supposed to fight, it got canceled the day of. So maybe right. Philip Linz, maybe something happens with him. Maybe Josh Parmesan's like, you know what? Maybe I'm go. This guy just got slept. Yeah, he just got put out bad. Yeah, maybe Josh Parmesan. Maybe he's like, yo, I'm on second thought, I'm good. I don't want to fight this dude. But either way, honestly, I hope we see all these fights, like because the first couple fights I have a couple plays on, and I know we'll get there. But let's start.
Joanne,
let's get
don't call me Calderwood.
I like it. I have a play on that one.
Marina
A mega whale
Mirage.
play.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going.
This guy's still sleeping in the
That's
cage.
bad. I don't like. I don't like the. I definitely don't like to hear that. That's a tough situation. But how
Spanish
about
fighter with another win? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. How about we're in Miami this weekend? I guess they couldn't dust off Jorge Masvidal. He's too busy worrying. Who's he trying to fight? He's trying to box somebody or something, or he's gonna break
Jake
somebody's
Paul?
orbital bone. Oh, he's trying to fight Chael Sonnen. That's right. Come on, man. Like I'm tired of that guy. We should have known he was a fraud from the beginning when he just shot the superstardom, but there's nothing they could do after he fucking eliminated Ben Askren. That biggest fluke in the history of MMA. I'll just say that off the rip. So there you go. There's a hot take for the boys out there. But let's get into the main event, Ty. Suga Sean O'Malley making his first title defense against Marlon Chito Vera, the man who gave him the one loss on his record. If you recall, that was, I believe, 2020, I think, right? The old leg kicks and his leg giving out, and then he fell, and then he received some elbows via the face on the ground. That was August of 2020, the Stipe and DC card. I think that was that was a while.
So goddamn long ago.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
It's so weird, yeah. It's so weird that Sean O'Malley made his UFC debut, or I guess the first time we saw him on the Contender Series, 2017. That's crazy.
These years are just flying by me, man.
They're not even real anymore. You could say anything happened at any day. I'd be like, yeah, sure.
So, Chito Vera is a big underdog here, more considerable than I thought he would be when this fight was kind of announced. He's plus 240, Ty, to Sean O'Malley's minus 270, 280. I'm trying to figure out what the first fight, what the odds were. O'Malley he opened up, I think, as an underdog, and then it kind of wound up going into the same range, I think. So that's
Tapology says minus 300 for Sean. I don't know how accurate that is.
It says on here as well.
Okay.
So it's in the same direction. So it seems like Sean hangs out at around the same line for most of his fights, other than probably the Aljo fight. Paiva, he was minus 375. Pedro, he was minus 350, and then this one he's minus 300 as well. So I guess the question here, Ty, the money line doesn't seem really bettable unless you're throwing it in some sort of parlay. I guess the question is, do you think that he's able to finish Chito Vera, which would be the first time Chito Vera has been finished in his career? And this is a very fascinating fight to me because I do think the odds are a little too. That's if you're in on the Chito bandwagon, this is a perfect opportunity or situation to hop in here. I'm not gonna be the guy who does that. I don't like Chito Vera in this fight. I didn't like him in the first fight. It feels like a good matchup for Sean O'Malley's game, and at some point you'd think he would hurt him, but no one's hurt Chito Vera before, man. So I don't even think the guy's even bled, let alone had a scratch on his face or anything. It's pretty remarkable, but Sean O'Malley has shown since that fight, though, I think he's grown leaps and bounds, and I think he's I shouldn't say well, but he's leveled up past Chito Vera, and the odds are for the TKO. I was looking at it yesterday. There was in the plus like 240, 300 range. You can get it at 250 right now. I think that's where I'm gonna go, unless you are on the other side or convince me otherwise. But
no, I think I'm here. I think I'm here with you. It's a little tough to predict, but I think it's got to happen eventually, right? Chito Vera has a negative striking ratio in the UFC. I know a lot of that is kind of, you need to examine it a little further, have a little nuance to it, because he does kind of roll with shots. He does take shots very well. He has a great chin, and he does a good job of catching them at the very end of their punches. He has 12 knockdowns in the UFC compared to 0 knocked down. So, yeah, can Sean do it? I mean, Sean has the well, first of all, he's rocking the pink shorts with the pink and blue cotton candy hair. I love it. I know that's probably going to piss some people off. I love it. Why not? He looks like he's focused. He looks like he's just he's ready. He's never struck me as somebody who I didn't think was going to be ready. He's 29. I think he just turned 29. So he's pretty much in his prime, physically, mentally. He's a new father. Shout out to Liska, my boy Liska, also a new father.
Yeah,
out there.
shout out.
His wife and hairdresser. He had both of them doing his hair. If you saw what his hairdresser looked like, you'd understand.
Yep.
I understand Sean. He's just a high volume, precise sniper with power in both hands, switching stances, moves well. Still skinny, but he's very big for the division, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That nasty pullback counter that he knocked Aljo out with. So he's good going backwards. A lot of people aren't as good going backwards. I feel like Chito can be low volume. I feel like he can be, sometimes can give some minutes away, especially takes round one off a lot, kind of like Petr Yan, to try to make reads, download the data, if you will. He gives up takedowns, but usually that's to set up a sub. He has very good opportunistic submissions, but I don't think you have to worry about that here. Maybe he tries to implement some wrestling. I don't know. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy considering that he stood there in exchange with John Lineker in the pocket, turned Jose Aldo into a wrestler, yet he's never been dropped in 32 pro fights. I think it's going to happen, though. I don't know. It's not like he's old and he's washed up and he's showing signs of decline. I don't think that's really true at all.
I don't think he looked great in the Pedro Munoz fight, though, for the record.
He's 31, so he's not old.
He's not old, but I think it's more of a fight old as opposed to a actual age old. Because look,
what I'll say is the Corey Sandhagen fight for me was not a great look.
No,
I didn't love that. So yeah, his last two fights, and even the Dominic Cruz fight. I mean, he knocked him down like 3 times, but he got outstruck. And then and that'll happen to him, and that's what I worry about. Like he'll give up the strike totals. You don't want to do that with Sean. I mean, Sean is just dynamic striker all around. And funny enough, he has good kicks.
Yeah.
I know that was an issue in their first fight, but I think that was a long time ago. He's come a long way. Like I said, he's in his prime mentally, physically, emotionally. I don't think cardio is an issue for Sean. I think he won round 3 against Petr Yan unanimously. Maybe you scored the fight for Yan. I think a lot of people said they did, and I think I might have. But I think that showed that Suga is a championship fighter. You know? So, did you see Aljo said, or not Aljo? Yeah, Aljo said that Chito's having a bad camp.
Yeah, I don't believe
Interesting.
that.
And then you see they're back and forth.
Yes.
Chito's a very angry fella. I kind of like it. He said, Aljo, dude, he's so fucking hungry for attention. He never got attention in the UFC.
Yeah.
He became a world champion. Defended. He got booed in fucking Jersey against fucking Cejudo. Who gets booed against Cejudo? Holy shit, people fucking hate you. That's great.
Dude, he's so funny. Do you see Sean like, yo, you ready to get knocked out? He said, suck my dick.
Sean's like, suck your dick? What?
And then Cheeto's walking through the hallway. He's like, I told him to suck my, like, cracking up. He's like, yeah, fuck you, pussy. So funny.
That's a good thing to say. I like saying that to another dude.
Yeah, hell yeah,
like,
dude. What can you say to him? He said, you ready to suck my dick? And he was like, that's gay, dude. And Sean tries to talk shit, and it's just not in his nature. He cannot, like, he just doesn't, it's not his thing, Are they doing a press conference?
I don't know when that should be. I saw somebody tweet the schedule up, but do you remember when Petr Yan in translation called him a dumb whore on the street?
Yes.
And he's like, yeah. And they're like, Sean, what do you have to say about that? He's like, that was good. That was a good one. So yeah, all around, I think Chito. I think if you want to bet him, you have to bet him KO. I don't know. Does he go for a sub or does he? Maybe.
I think
I just
don't
know.
But...
He doesn't do that. He just doesn't do it. He doesn't look to do that ever. So I can't imagine. And Sean's jiu-jitsu has come a long way. Also, man, the way Corey beat him all around was just very not shocking, but it opened my eyes for sure. And like you said, the Pedro Munoz fight got a little dicey. Rob Font landed insane volume on him. I know he knocked him down and won that fight, knocked him down 3 times. But 271 strikes landed for Rob Font. Wild.
Yeah.
So I'm following you. I got Sean O'Malley by knockout, and I think he maybe would you say this is the biggest win of his career? I would say probably not. Right, not the Aljo fight. But maybe the biggest statement because I think a lot of people were taking
this means more because it basically would mean he's undefeated.
1L.
Yeah, like it would be like that loss was a fluke. Exactly. Like his whole thing has been that loss was a fluke. And the only way to actually prove that and make this right would be to go out and, make a statement like knocking out. I mean, I think, it's tough to take away because that Aljo was on top of the world and he fucking knocked him out in dramatic fashion. But if he goes out and knocks Chito Vera out, then really the sky is the limit for Sean O'Malley. This is sort of another that's when you get to this level, it's just an opportunity after opportunity to break through to that superstardom level. And hopefully it comes out to Lupe Fiasco again. I would love that. The last time Chito Vera has scored a submission victory, 2019 against Nohelin Hernandez.
Oh man,
on the John Jones Santos card. So that's UFC 239. So 60 UFCs ago is when that occurred. So that you listen. I would say one of the. What do we usually say though, Ty? You know, we always try to go with the predictable thing. What's going to happen? I don't think that O'Malley points is a bad bet either. But listen, we always say, well, you got to bet the thing that is like that you don't expect or that's not likely to happen. Vera's never been knocked out, so I'm going to go.
What was the number?
That's plus 250.
Solid number, I think. I mean, it's going to be tough,
I
right?
agree.
But I think there's a chance it happens early. At least the first round, maybe not the second, third, maybe, because Chito just takes round one off and Sean comes out firing out the gates, switching stances. He's going to throw his own kicks that are going to do work. I think Chito might maybe not underestimate him because it's funny. Sean's like, yeah, a lot of people are saying it's going to be an easy fight. It's not going to be an easy fight. I just sometimes make my fights look like easy fights, but this is going to be tough. So the fact that he's,
that he's in that mindset.
He's not the arrogant kid that he once was. He's honestly matured a lot, even though he still is goofy and silly and whatnot. But I think Chito might end up underestimating him and his power a little bit because he's like, I've been there, I've done that. I fought Hall of Famers. I'm not scared of this kid with his, pink shorts and pink and blue hair. Well, I think it's going to be, curtains. I think it's going to be a straight right or a straight left.
Yep.
And then some ground and pound.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I just think that this is his time. I just think he's so much more of a better striker, and I feel like that's where this fight's going to go down for 25 minutes. I think O'Malley finds a way to get him out of there at some point, and I think Chito, if he could probably go to the wrestling at some point, but I don't even think he'll have success with that because, like you said, it's not really his thing. He can grapple, but I don't think he really likes to grapple, and I don't know, when you're not used to it, it's kind of an energy zapper if you try to go do that. So we are both on O'Malley TKO plus 250, and we keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen, to the co-main event of the evening. When this fight got announced, me and Ty were fired up. When it got canceled, we did a whole 15 minutes that I cut from an episode because as we finished the episode, we found out that Dustin was lying about the fight being canceled or not being on, so that was annoying. But Benoit Saint Denis, 13-1, is taking on Dustin Poirier, 29-8. Dustin Poirier coming off of that dramatic highlight reel knockout from Justin Gaethje where he got head kicked into oblivion. Benoit Saint Denis, big step up in competition. He's coming off of an elimination of Matt the Steamroller Frivola.
Also by head kick.
All of Benoit's wins have been by finish. 9 submissions, I believe, right? 9 submissions, 4 KOs. This is 5-5-minute rounds. There's been some conversation around Benoit maybe having a little staph infection of some sort on his forehead. I don't know. I don't like to get myself involved in all that conversation or talk or, we don't know. I'm not going to bet one way or the other because a guy has staph and you're going to listen. Sometimes when you're watching a fight and you see a guy take it, like when Kevin Lee took his shirt off that day against Tony Ferguson, it was like, oh no, this guy, he's cooked. But I don't know. I don't think I've ever, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't think I've ever seen staph on someone's forehead like that. So until maybe hopefully somebody asks them at the press conference or we get a clear answer or it just goes away. Like, I don't know. Like I need a little bit more of a answer before I go one way or the other. It does give me pause for concern though, Ty. So let's go with the odds here. Benoit is a big favorite at minus 230. 205. He got steamed pretty much. I mean, because Poirier opened up as a minus 175 favorite. Now closing as a minus 232. That's an insane line movement. Goes to show you that the whole public and even probably the sharps are on Benoit Saint Denis. Do you think there's been a lot of conversation as well? Poirier, talking about he knows he could see the end. We always talk about how that's never a good sign when the fighters start talking about, retirement. He's leaving his daughter at home for this one because these things can be unpredictable. I think he knows what he's up against here, Ty. I guess I'll ask you for confirmation. What do you like here?
He also said he took this fight to see it, and I quote, to see if I still got it.
That's not good.
Not good, dude. These are all the red flags. And what has always been his kryptonite in his career? It's wrestling and grappling. So, do you remember the Michael Chandler fight? Michael Chandler easily could have and should have won that fight. I know he lost, but he could have dropped round one, if not for the way he almost finished Chandler at the end of round one. Got controlled for the entirety of round two, almost subbed. Chandler let him off the hook, and then his dumbass got submitted. So I just think that's the easy path that you take here. Like I said, you look at how many times he's been submitted. 3 times, been knocked out 3 times. But when he fights these grapplers, Charles Oliveira, Habib, he gets submitted. I think Korean Zombie way back in the day, Darston. And Benoit Saint Denis, dude, he's just an absolute wrecking ball. One of my favorite fighting styles ever. He's a southpaw also like Dustin. The stand-up's going to be very interesting for how long it lasts because he loves those body kicks. He looks to break you with just relentless grappling and just heavy pressure in general. He can strike a little bit. He has got a couple knockouts with his hands, but I think, that's definitely not the avenue he wants to explore in this fight. I guess I could see him still knocking out Dustin, funny enough. I just think it wouldn't go that well for him, at least at first. He gets dirty in the clinch, throws some elbows like the Thiago Moises fight. They were just, Muay Thai clinching it up the whole time. The only issue I have with Benoit is he is very hittable. So I do worry about him losing the boxing exchanges. I have a question about whatever is on his forehead. Maybe it's just apparently he was at the shooting range. Who knows? It could be anything. That guy's an absolute serial killer, literally. I just think the path to victory is so obvious here. And I think he starts out fast. This is a guy who's young, but he's pretty much in his prime, right? He's close to it. I think he's 28. And Dustin's already talking about retirement. He's 35 years old. He's coming off of a head kick knockout. I just think this is a crossroads fight. Yeah. And I got Benoit Saint Denis by submission.
I think I'm with you. I think there's always the possibility in a fight like this where the vet lesson could get taught by a Dustin Poirier. I just don't know because this is a change in not even strategy, but just mentality for Dustin Poirier because he was of the thought process, especially after those McGregor fights, that he wasn't gonna fight somebody. Like he was looking for fights that excite him, or fun fights and stuff like that. He wasn't really trying to fight any of these young, hungry lions and stuff like that. Now to make that kind of complete 180. And now you're fighting the hungriest of lions, who seems like a starved animal in the cage when he gets in there. It is scary. And I think he's taken enough time off since that knockout, but that knockout was bad. And I just don't like what I've been hearing from Dustin Poirier. And again, without any of that included, I just don't like the matchup in general because you saw the Charles Oliveira fight. I think there's a possibility that Benoit could get hurt, and maybe it's enough to get him out of there. I don't know. I've seen Benoit taking an insane and inhumane amount of damage against, I believe it was Zaleski dos Santos. I'm pretty sure, and right, wasn't that?
Yeah, that was upper weight class.
That was upper weight class on short notice, and I saw people posted that oh, you think this guy? That's just a dumb engagement farming that people do on Twitter.
Dustin Poirier is 1-2 in his last 3 and should be 0-3. So what people think of Dustin Poirier is not what he, he's not the same fighter he was. He's still damn good and he can go toe to toe with some of these guys, but he's lost a step and he's 35 and he's coming off of a brutal knockout. So I don't think that's, a lot of people are just looking back in time, since the Conor McGregor fight, that's pretty much been it for him. You know what I mean? So, I think his time's up, and I think this is somebody. It reminds me a little bit of the Topuria and Volk fight. The similar ages, similar rising and falling, with the fighters. So obviously stylistically, they're all different, and this is going to be a different battle itself. Like, I think Topuria was the better boxer and striker in that fight. I don't know if Benoit's the better boxer or striker here, but those body kicks, the clinch knees, the ability to get in your face, back you up, and be there and not go away. He has good cardio. Maybe he doesn't have theoretically better cardio than Dustin, but what happens when you take Dustin down and grind on him for a little bit? He wears the fuck out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just watch that Khabib fight, dude. He had that guillotine on Khabib like pretty tight. Khabib had to fucking, really just get to his hips and flop around to get out of it. And he got out of it, I don't want to say with ease. He was in it. He was locked in for like 10, 20 seconds. And then after that, Dustin, his will was just defeated.
Yeah.
And I think, you're going to see Benoit get him in the second round, maybe the third. Maybe it could end in the first, but I think if it does go to the second, third, he's going to just wear on him with that absolute wrecking ball style. And I feel very confident about this.
I am worried about the TKO or the KO happening, though.
Me too. Me too. But inside the distance is what? Minus like 150. So
yeah.
I kind of want to just at least take the prop that I felt very strong about. I know he's come 2 knockouts in a row, but I think this is going to be a different story.
Yeah, like I could, you maybe parlay that inside the distance in another some sort of bet if you wanted to. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I think we are both going to go BSD, Benoit Saint-Denis, by submission. Plus 165 is what we're getting it at here on the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast, and we keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer, staying at 170, which I like for him, but he has a stiff test. Michael Venom Page, if you are a MMA fan and you watch it outside of the UFC, then you know who that guy is. Making his UFC debut, Bellator legend. He had 17 wins, 2 losses. He lost to Mike Perry in PKFC, which is pretty wild. But didn't he destroy that Yamauchi's fucking kneecap? If I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, his first leg kick, it just split in half. He has done some damage to his opponents. His leg, Derek Anderson's crooked nose, Cyborg's ex-husband back in the day, he literally broke his skull with the knee. And then he hit him with was it the Pokemon?
Yeah, he threw the Pokeball at him. That's insane.
Wow, that's wild. He made David Rickles fucking verbally submit. Like, he has a couple flying knees. My issue is, like, look at his strength of schedule and look at his wins. Like, they are really not good. I mean, like, what's his best Bellator win? The split decision over Douglas Lima that he probably didn't even win. I'm not sure. Paul Daly in a if I remember correctly, boring fight. He has a couple splits that probably shouldn't have happened. He has a toe hold.
Really bad strength of schedule.
I forgot his best win is obviously when he ground and pounded Charlie Ontiveros in Bellator. I forgot he fought him. My boy. I don't know about your boy, but definitely my boy. Other than that, dude, now he's 36, turns 37 soon next month, and he's making his UFC debut. I don't know if that's he said he always wanted to be in the UFC, but it's just an interesting time to make your debut. He's usually the longer fighter, but he's not here.
Yeah.
And he also loses a lot of his sting after the first round. And the takedown defense was always a big hole. Not that Kevin Holland's the best defensive grappler himself, but offensively he's pretty good. We've seen what he can do and how, the good submissions, the good chokes he has, the all-around offensive grappling, and he also has good boxing. He's quick. The fight IQ is always an issue with him. Remember didn't he say he broke his hand against Wonder Boy and then he fought like 4 months later?
Yep.
That was kind of weird. But I do love him in the spot. I think he's a better, younger version of MVP with his karate-type, rangy kickboxer style. Much more durable, much less damage taken. I wonder if he finishes him here. Is kind of I'm kind of back and forth on that one. He has his last 4, 5, 6. His last 6 wins have all been finishes. A couple in the first. So I'm not sure. What do you think here?
I don't
take a money line bet?
I don't like anything here, to be honest. I don't have a good read on this because I think Kevin Holland is always the typical where I can't trust what version of him is going to show up. And I think with MVP, him being kind of the new commodity, I could see this fight somewhat playing out like that Wonder Boy fight because, like you said, Holland's going to probably try and play that karate style, and MVP might be better at him than just kind of getting some points. and scoring from the outside. I think a good bet here is MVP decision, which I don't know what you could get that at. Page decision is +4. No, that's inside the distance. Decision is +225. I think I'm going to take that. Why not? Michael, MVP decision +200.
Damn. I'm going to take Kevin Holland money line straight up. It says -132 on Bovada. Maybe I can get that down a little bit or up a little bit, but I feel like he's going to get this win regardless of how.
Holland money line, you can get that on here at -125. So
Let's get it.
125. I should just bet the money line for MVP, but I don't really feel that confident about it. This is kind of just like a throw it out there prop to maybe get
Throw it down the field a little bit.
Yeah, a little down the field. You know how I like to go down the field. So Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Maddalena. This is just another one of them fight where you're like, and this fight. You know, you keep going down the line. Gilbert Burns is a +145 underdog to Jack Della's -165 tie. I don't really understand that line all that much. I mean, Jack Della has some good wins. He had a split decision against Kevin Holland the last time out, which I don't really
2 splits in a row.
recall that. Was that the night? I think that was the night Rosas Jr. knocked that guy out. I think that was the Mexico City. Or no, that was like the they had like the
it was when he knocked him
UFC, right? Yeah, that was.
Yeah. With
that's right.
Loopy cashing us in with that rear naked choke.
Yes. I do remember all that. Yeah,
Actually, I think I might have had decision. I'm not sure.
I don't recall. Hey, it might have been, but
2 splits in a row for Jack Della. Big step up here, right? You think?
Yeah, and I didn't like the way Hafez was able to really his takedown. Jack Della's takedown defense was shooting a guillotine, which I sure hope he doesn't try to do that here. And Durinho, he's getting older. He's 37 years old, but I thought he's looked good. He dominated Jorge Masvidal. He took out Neil Magny. There's music playing on an ad right now on my screen. That's insane. That was wild. He lost to Khamzat Chimaev, but he's the only guy who really pushed Khamzat Chimaev. You know, other than he kind of honestly exposed Chimaev as somewhat of a fraud. You know, he hasn't lost yet, but that was the first night where we were like, "Wow, this guy is actually human. He actually can be beat. This is interesting." The Bilal Muhammad fight, he broke his arm or something early on, and
fucked his shoulder up.
Yeah, that's right on that takedown sort of, and he landed awkwardly. Listen, I say all that to say I have been saying this for months, and ever since I saw the Hafez fight, I was in the thought process of you need to prove me wrong or prove me different before I ever believe in you again. Gilbert Burns' submission is +380, Ty. That's what I'm taking. Jack Della Maddalena he's lost 2 times in his career, one by submission, one by knockout. They were both obviously a long time ago in the first 2 fights of his career. But Jack Della, I always look at it this way, like how do they finish fights? You know, Jack Della has 11 knockouts. He only has 2 submissions. He's obviously not comfortable with the ground game, or will try to stay away from that ground game. I'd feel even more confident this was a 5-round fight, but I have a feeling that Gilbert Burns is going to cut through this man's guard like butter, and he's going to make it look somewhat easy, and he's going to teach this kid a lesson. That's just my thought process. So I am going Gilbert Burns submission +380.
I'm following you with that. I think he just very recently, the beginning of last year, got a arm triangle victory over Neil Magny, made it look easy, quick. Got 4 takedowns against Masvidal, so he's been going to that as of late. And not just in the Hafez fight, but against Angelusa, Jack Della Maddalena was in 2 deep arm triangles. So I think that's, I'm not necessarily MMA math isn't undefeated there. It's not perfect, but I think that matters a lot, especially with this matchup. The problem I have with Burns, he's just very hittable, it seems like, especially as the fight goes on. He's also been dropped by a jab multiple times, and Jack Della has one of the best jabs in the UFC, in my opinion. So that's an issue. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can kind of see either of them getting to their ultimate spot in this fight, but I think Burns has pretty good cardio, pretty good toughness. The last fight was just very unlucky, Also fought Bilal Muhammad, who's going to be fighting for a title. But Gilbert Burns has devastating low kicks, and against somebody who has a heavy on the front foot with that boxing style, I think that's going to matter a lot. Burns also has explosive striking himself, but the injury, the age, the durability, sometimes I think that is an issue for sure. Looking back, his wins haven't aged that well. Hopefully he doesn't stay at range too much. I don't think he will, honestly. I think he's going to want to get in close, get him down, and get a sub. Real quick, have you watched the Embedded at all?
No, not yet.
Oh, man. Jack Della, I never realized he has like that National Geographic voice. It's so funny hearing him talk. And, of course, the first thing in Aussie does when they get to Florida is go look for gators. So that was kind of funny. But he has power in both hands. He really likes to back you against the cage, tee off on you, and just, make you quit pretty much. Like I said, very good jab. Making improvements for sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if this went the other way, But, again, two low-level guys, in my opinion, almost had him in arm triangles, like specific submissions that Gilbert Burns specifically has victories over by way of,
Yeah.
And I think Jack Della has some good takedown defense. I think Hafez was like 3 of 20. The problem is when you get him down, like you can control Jack Della. He kind of doesn't know the best ways of getting up. So I just think also Basile Hafez is fighting Mickey Gall at 302. So that should be fun.
Jesus.
We get to see him back in there and hopefully get his first win. I'm following you. I think Gilbert Burns' sub is very live. I think maybe even if he gets stung a little bit and this does go to the ground or he just gets hurt and has to look to try to panic wrestle, I think it could still work. Gilbert Burns is so strong and so fundamentally sound grappling wise. So,
yeah.
And do you see he's working pretty much? I know him and RoboCop work together, but for this fight, they're like right next to each other. They're with each other anywhere they go, anywhere you look. So I think that's going to matter a little bit. Not that Gilbert Burns needs anybody teaching him more tricks, but just having that around him. I'm with you, Gilbert Burns sub. Let's fucking bring it home.
Yeah, and to piggyback off your point, like all I had to see was that Usman fight and see that the fear that Usman had about going to the ground with Gilbert Burns kind of proved my point. Now that fight didn't go Gilbert Burns' way, but
He did get a knockdown.
He did get a knockdown, and I think Gilbert Burns is going to have a much easier time taking down Jack Della Maddalena than he did Kamaru Usman. So I am with you. Gilbert Burns submission plus 380 is a fat number too, and that is a number that I am very, very excited about. Last fight on the main card that we're going to talk about, Petr Yan. What is Petr Yan's nickname? Isn't he? Does he have a nickname? No Mercy. That's right.
No Mercy, yeah.
He's fighting Song Yadong. This is another one, the Kung Fu Kid, that I am very excited about. Petr Yan's had a rough little go at it. I think he's lost 4 of his last 5. Some of them questionable, some of them not. Not one being Marab, which was the most recent one.
Yeah, that was it. Other than that, he's been very snake bitten.
Yeah, it took a year off, and I think that was a necessary thing. I don't know what he's been doing or what's been the deal with him, but he is back. Song Yadong, I don't remember the last time he was in there. Was that
beat Gutierrez?
Okay, the fall against Gutierrez. That wasn't even that long ago. That was around Christmas.
Yeah, I think it was the main event.
Was that the main event? Oh yeah, that's right. That was okay. That all right. I do remember because that was
a big. It was supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be in China, but it just was. There was a surprise. We're at the Apex, and we're like, okay.
And cool. It was like not even like close that main event because Gutierrez
11 fights.
You could just tell
on the card.
He had nothing. He had nothing for Song Yadong, but that's a big step. This is a big step up in competition. Yeah. I don't know if Song Yadong is and Song Yadong did not beat Chito Vera for the record. I remember that correctly. I remember watching that fight.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so either.
But Petr Yan is a minus 125 favorite to Song Yadong's plus 105, 100. I think this might be just a Petr Yan money line situation, but I got to say, Ty, I don't really feel confident about this. But I don't think Petr Yan is completely cooked. I didn't get this last couple fights. I mean, unless he's going to get wrestle fucked like he did against Marab, which is not going to happen. I do like Song, though, so this might be a stay away for me.
I can't believe Song Yadong is only 26 years old. That's so wild. Still very young despite having a 10-2 UFC record. I think some of his wins, honestly, have not aged that well. I think the Gutierrez and Simone wins were pretty good, especially the way he dealt with Simone's wrestling.
Yeah.
knocked him down a couple times and finished him late. Cardio's good, but the Moraes, the Arce, Casey Kenny, which was a split, Chito Vera, which I agree with you. I don't think he won that, and some of the other ones in his early.
Cody Stamen.
Really haven't. Yeah. So, and Cody Stamen, I think, also said on the Jamal Hill podcast, I think that's correct, that Song Yadong rehydrates to like 160, 170. So that's wild. He is a big, strong dude. I mean, he has good hands, good leg kicks, has a very good left head kick, good cardio. Again, seems like his takedown defense is solid, but Ricky Simone's a guy who's not really going to throw accuracy at you with wrestling. He's kind of just going to chain wrestle. Song fought through a nasty cut against Corey, so he is tough. Like I think he's a dog. Yeah. I think he kind of just needs to be taught a vet lesson, or just kind of beat up a little bit to kind of be used to it, and maybe reach championship status. I'm not sure. There's still some improving he has to do. I don't like how he backs up, or how he fights backing up, so that's an issue. Petr Yan has been there, done that. The fight with Sean O'Malley was sick. His body kicks are good. His boxing is good. He has some sting in his hands, but he's not finishing guys. So that, combined with the fact that he takes off round one to kind of download the data, I feel like he might fuck himself in a split. He has before. I kind of worry about that here. I do also think he's a better wrestler here if he wants to implement that, which I think he should. I don't think he necessarily will, and he doesn't really much. I think he gets about 1.71 takedowns per 15. Not bad, honestly. And he took down Sean like 6 times. Remember, he took down Aljo 7 times in their first fight, which a lot of people were surprised by. Took down Aldo, took down Uriah Faber, took him down twice and knocked him down 3 times. So we know what Petr Yan's about. I think he's just all around better here. I'm going to take Petr Yan money line, even though I could see him losing a close fight.
Yeah, I think I kind of like Yan decision as well. I think I'm going to take both. I know it's kind of a silly bet, but I mean, if he knocks him out, then I'm covered. But
yeah, what's his decision?
Plus 140 something. It's not enough. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not enough for me to get like too excited about. But I think that's what's going to happen. So like, I don't really see him knocking Song Yadong out. I don't really find that to be a possibility. I think this is going to be a close fight. I'm gonna double whammy as well. I'm gonna go Yan decision plus 145 and money line minus 125.
Real quick, isn't it crazy how Michael Venom Page never fought Lorenz Larkin, Andrei Koreshkov, Jason Jackson, Yaroslav Amosov, Benson Henderson, Rory McDonald, basically any welterweight that wasn't Douglas Lima? I just noticed that. I'm like, wait, he didn't fight any of those big guys. So just something to go back to.
Yeah, I don't really like that bet that I took. I'm kind of looking at it, and it feels like the worst bet on my card right now.
The good thing is you're betting against Kevin Holland, which can work.
Yeah, that's and I told myself I would stop doing that, stop anti-betting people because it kind of, but because then I forget about the guy I'm actually betting on, and I'm like, oh wait, this guy stinks even more, So which I found out these last few weeks. But how about that was the main card. We move on to the prelim section of the card. We still have 9 fights. We gotta run through these. Curtis Blades, Jalton Almeida coming off of a disappointing performance against Derek Lewis. Not being able to get that finish. It was really a boring fight. I was out at the bar watching on my phone. I eventually locked my phone and said, okay, let's just get back to the night. He's fighting Curtis Blades, who is the Marab of the heavyweight division, as he claims, without the cardio. I'm still asking for some clarification on that for that to make sense.
Not sure what that means.
Curtis Blades is a minus 105 underdog. I mean, it's kind of honestly even because it goes back and forth on a couple of these. Minus 115, 105, 110, 110 on DraftKings. So nobody really knows what's going to happen here or who's the favorite. I don't know if I really like anything here, though, Ty, because I lean Jalton because I'm just a Jalton guy, and I think I was going to take him the first time around when the fight got made, but after seeing the way he struggled finishing at Derek Lewis, who people have had really no problem finishing in the past, and Curtis Blades being the wrestler that he is, and at the size that he is, I don't know. I don't really like anything here, and I think maybe, I don't know, maybe you could convince me otherwise, but Curtis Blades has never been submitted. He's never submitted anyone. He's been knocked out 4 times. So, like, how is this fight going to go down? Because Jalton's not really the knock you out kind. I know he can do it,
Yeah.
obviously, but
Yeah, he packs a nice little punch,
Yeah.
but he's not the best striker.
the fuck is going on here? Fucking noise.
good?
No, there's all sorts of noise on my. I'm Tapology. Chill the fuck out.
Typology does do that. You start opening up ads for some things. You're like, whoa, it's not that time of the night yet. But yeah, Almeida hits hard. He kind of just he has that front kick to a takedown series. He does. That's how he starts every fight. He's gonna be like 30 pounds lighter here, maybe 20. But I don't know if that's gonna matter. I think he's such a gifted athlete. And I think you have to go back really far to watch Curtis Blades have any defensive grappling wrestling moments, really. I mean, he got taken down once by Volkov, but he took him down 14 times.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really fought any wrestlers, any grapplers. You have to go all the way back to his second fight when he fought Cody East, who I believe was arrested and went to prison after that fight. If you don't know about Cody East, has a long, extensive run-in with the law. And that was the second UFC fight. He still ended up winning via ground and pound. And Curtis Blades has some nasty ground and pound. He likes to throw those elbows. Also, I think I did see him when he fought Overeem. He defended 2 heel hooks and a guillotine. So it's happened, just not that often. And Jailton Almeida is just a different animal. You know what I mean? Blades does have that good offensive wrestling, but he gets about 6 takedowns per 15. Like I said, that good ground and pound. I don't know, man. His chin's been cracked multiple times, been KO'd 4 times, so maybe that could even happen. I just think Almeida is going to try to do something to him that nobody else has really looked to do, and I think he's going to have success, dude. I think he's a high level grappler. He's a bit awkward and sloppy in pretty much all facets of the game. He doesn't get his takedown accuracy. I think is only 55%, but I think he's going to have success here, and I think he's going to win by submission. So give me Jailton Almeida by sub.
Wow. I'm not taking it, but I respect it. Almeida submission plus 380.
Ooh. I like it.
That's really hefty, but that's when I saw
a couple of these have to hit. You know what I mean? So maybe a couple lose, and it's like, all right, all good. Lazy King's about to come out now.
Yeah, I saw. I had that fired up on the side.
You got it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it back up. But how about we keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen? Marinara. No, I'm sorry, Sermonara. Caitlin Sermonara. Who's gone through a tough time. I don't want to make light of that. That she seems like she's had a rough year this past year. She's fighting Macy Barber. I think Macy Barber is. What do we have here? Macy Barber's the favorite. That's right, because this. There's not a lot of odds on this. There's only 3 websites offering odds for this specific fight. The rest of them have them for all of them, which made me question if it was happening or not. I was like, what the hell is going on here? But minus 210, 200 to Caitlin Sermonara's, formerly Chukagian, anyone out there who doesn't know, she got married, changed her name to Sermonara. So, Ty, if you're betting Caitlin, you might as well just bet the decision. I don't want anything to do with this fight as well. This seems like something that you can't trust, and you don't know what version. Oh, okay. So they have. There we go. That now makes sense. They have odds for Caitlin Chukagian, and they have odds for Caitlin Sermonara. So it depends on what version they're going to show up. I guess you get different
which one
odds.
are we going to get? That's good. What if are they both going to be at the same time? Is it 2-on-1?
I don't know. That's a good tag team. I don't know. They cloned her. Who knows? There's a lot of questions to be answered.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I have here. I think there's a Chuk's got that range kickboxing. She's good at distance management. 11-5 in the UFC. She's only been dropped once, and it was by Jessica Andrade, who drops a lot of people. But she does have a 50% takedown defense, which kind of worries me. Macy does go for that and could and probably should go for that at least a little bit. Her takedown offense isn't necessarily the best. I'm pretty sure she got out wrestled by Andrea Lee, which was not a great look just a couple of fights ago, and she almost lost that fight. She gets herself into close fights a lot. The Miranda Maverick fight was close. I think obviously the Roxanne loss, which was crazy. She blew out her knee. The Grasso fight, she actually did well in the 3rd round against Grasso. She's one of the best rounds someone's had against Alexa Grasso. And since then, she's she kind of destroyed Amanda Ribas.
She did.
Other than that, her fights lately, compared to when she exploded onto the scene, have been a little bit more reserved. So at least early in the fight. So, but she is a mean fighter, throws with bad intention, especially in the clinch and on the ground. She gets nasty in there. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I don't have a bet. I don't have a play.
either.
I finally am stepping away from
Nice.
the bet. I could see a boring decision here, but I think Chuk, man, she just has that loud air striking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like Marina Moroz. As we get more ads playing here, I think
unbelievable.
I think Macy wins, but I'm not. I just don't really want anything to do with this fight, so I'm definitely going to enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I will enjoy watching it as well, but I am staying away, so I don't want anything to do with any of the odds, or I don't trust Macy Barbara to get it done, and I don't trust Caitlin to not win a split decision. So,
Yeah,
Matus Gamrot, Mateus, as some would say. I'll have to wait for John Anik to correct me on that. Rafael dos Anjos. This is it's crazy that these fights you just keep going down. You're like, okay, so former 155 champion, former 170 championship contender. He's getting in there against Matus Gamrot at 155. We have minus 500 for Matus Gamrot against Rafael dos Anjos at plus 350, 340. Ty, this is obviously a Gamrot spot, I would say. I don't think anyone has the balls to bet Dos Anjos in this underdog situation. But do you? I mean, he's 39 years old. He's going to be 40 at the end of this year. He just lost a bad fight last summer to Luque. And those last couple wins against Moicano and Barberena, it just seems like when he gets to this level of the competition, he falters. You know, the Luque, the Fiziev, even the Chiesa, you know, that was at 170. The 170 was not his friend. But, Ty, do you think Gamrot gets him out of there, I guess, is the ideal situation here for a bet? Otherwise, it seems like a stay-away spot.
Yeah, I mean, most of his wins are by decision, and I think that's probably. Yeah, I don't think I do. I could see a bunch of stuff. I mean, RDA's 39. I just think he had a big drop off against Luque. I know he fought up, but he looked slow and old. The grappling didn't even look good. If you look at RDA's career takedown defense in the UFC, it's 56%. Some of that's skewed by all the absolute monsters that he's fought, but just looking at what happened lately, I'm not. It doesn't instill a lot of confidence. Luque getting 8 takedowns when Gamrot landed 6 on Sarukian, which I know MMA math isn't perfect, but I think there's a clear advantage here for Gamrot. Gamrot has very good wrestling, 4.36 takedowns per 15. He has a nasty single leg specifically. I think he's stronger. I think he's just more put together at this stage in his career. His boxing's improved a lot. It's not his go-to, but good cardio, good pace, high fight IQ. He knows where his bread is buttered. Yeah, I think Gamrot wins this fight kind of 30-27. I would bet him by decision, but for some reason I have a feeling maybe this is RDA has a moment where it's like, damn, he's really cooked. But I very, very much so lean towards a Gamrot decision. But again, just because of that slight pause I have, I'm going to stay away.
Look, he's 39 years old. Gamrot, I think he's going to neutralize the wrestling, and I think at some point he either gets himself a submission or a TKO. I'm going Gamrot inside the distance plus 275. That's too hefty for me to step away from. So how about Pedro Munoz, Kyler Phillips?
He just finished Fiziev too, right? So
yeah, but that didn't. It was like he blew his knee out, and that was a freak.
Forgot that
happened. The sort of thing. But Kyler Phillips is a teammate of Sean O'Malley, correct?
Yes, in Arizona.
I think so, right? He's coming off of a kind of
MMA lab.
Close decision, or I mean, it was a unanimous, but he's still
very close.
Very close. That's what I thought too. To Ione Barcelos, who got sent to the shadow realm. Another ad just starts playing. I don't think people can hear him, but you can because your setup is right next to the speaker. So. Sorry to Ty, who keeps having to hear that.
Oh, no, it's very brief.
How about, what do we have odds-wise here? I have the wrong page up. We got...
Lazy King going for a guillotine.
Oh, no. Kyler Phillips, minus 210, 220 to Pedro Munoz is plus 195 or 175 as well. Ty, I don't know. I don't like betting Pedro Munoz fights unless I absolutely have to because sometimes he looks like a murderer, and sometimes he looks like an old man. So I don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is the fight more than likely is going to go to decision if he loses. So is maybe Kyler Phillips' decision the move? Or do you think that it's just kind of just a stay away?
The problem is Kyler Phillips likes to get himself in close fights, so he likes to lose the third rounds. He likes to kind of slow down as the fight goes on. Remember the Holly and Paiva fight? He had him literally dead to rights in that first round, and lost the fight. I couldn't fucking believe that. I had money on him there, and I was pissed. That's his only loss in the UFC. But I think the Barcelos fight for a lot of people was not great either. So I don't know. Pedro Munoz has inconsistencies all the time. The Gutierrez fight was pretty close. The Chito Vera fight that he lost was close. The Dominic Cruz fight was pretty close. He dropped him and still lost. Frankie Edgar fight. I thought he won, but he kind of just gave it away at the end. I had money on him for that fight too. So I've lost money on both of these fellas. That's why I'm staying away ultimately.
Yeah.
I think Kyler has that explosive Muay Thai, strong in the clinch, throws that spinny shit. But that wears him down a little bit. He does have solid wrestling and jiu-jitsu with that black belt, but the heavy striking, even when he does push a wrestling pace, it's a lot. And, Pedro Munoz throws a lot of good kicks. Maybe he can kind of slow Kyler down like that. Interesting to see how he looks without USADA hanging around these days. Maybe he's been visiting Ludovic Klein's doctor, Kyler Phillips, that is. Hopefully, maybe. Pedro Munoz hasn't been finished before. Good boxing, low kicks. He's got a black belt himself, so it would kind of be fun to see him use grappling. I know he has a good guillotine, but he's the Cruz, Gutierrez, Suga, Chito, and Frankie fights. He slowed down as the fight progressed. So that I would love to take him by decision. I like his money line spot here, but I really can't trust him at all. So I'm staying away. I do think Kyler wins a close fight, but I could see it going either way.
I'm going to go Phillips decision, -110. I think I told myself before this pod that I was going to need to take a couple more decisions than I usually do, just because I don't like it. I don't like betting them because I don't enjoy watching them. But that's not how you make money. If you're trying to make some money here, you gotta do some stuff. Gotta do some dirty work. Gotta get your hands dirty every once in a while. So that is what we're doing here.
Dirty work.
Oh yeah. All right. So we have Michel Pereira and Michael Olazechuk. Michel. I don't know. It should be Michel. I don't know. Just for my own personal liking. But what do we have here? Pereira is a -145 favorite to Olazechuk's +130. Underdog tie. Michel making his not making his debut, but he has moved up to 185, and he eliminated Andre Petrosky.
He did
with easy work. So now he's moving up the ladder to Olazechuk, who I believe the last time we saw him, he was beating Chitty. Beating him pretty bad. Chitty, bang,
smoked
bang.
Him. He got hurt
a
couple times. He got hit with a head kick and a couple low kicks, and Chitty was doing really well to the body. But I'm a big Michael Olazechuk fan. I think he's looking a lot better since moving down. Because remember, he fought at 205. I think it's 3-1 since the move to middleweight. And his takedown defense is really the tough part here. But Caio Bahayo is kind of doing that to a lot of people, especially him. There's a big gap in grappling between the two, so I don't really hold that against him. I just think he matches up with Pereira here. I think he's got a longer reach. So the length, the pressure, the boxing, I think Pereira's running into somebody who matches up well with him in those categories. I also think Olazechuk has better cardio. Usually Pereira slows down, The thing is, I think Pereira has good takedown defense early. He has a black belt. So early in the fight, good control grappler. He could be a hell on wheels.
Yeah.
I know he's only 1-0 at 185, but he has fought there before the UFC. I think he's probably going to have the speed advantage. He's going to want to have that distance, keep that distance between them so he can get off on his striking. But Michel likes to walk you down, get in your face, and I don't know, man. I think Olazechuk himself has good step-in body knees. And that's kind of going to be key for him to damage the Pereira gas tank. I think they're both going to kind of look to do similar things to each other. Remember, Olazechuk was plus big dog in his debut, got it overturned because he pissed steaming hot. But he's looked good since then. He was also super young. I think when you piss hot when you're like 22, 23, get that out of your system, and then you can bounce back. As long as you're not Hector Lombard, pissing out at like 40, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like. I think Oleksiejczuk. Man, I don't know. I want to bet him by knockout. I really do, or inside the distance or something. But I think I'm going to go. Man, fuck, I don't know. His last 4 wins have been first round knockouts, and I don't know. Let's look at Michel Pereira. He's been knocked out once, right? Dusko Todorovic before he got to the UFC. I remember that fight. He got smoked. He has come a long way. He's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row against some decent opponents. I don't know, man. I need you to help steer me in this direction. I'm going to go Oleksiejczuk by money line. I'm going to go Oleksiejczuk money line just because I don't know if he gets. I don't know.
Well,
I want to take the knockout. I really am. Yeah, I really want to take his knockout. I feel like that number, even though I don't have it necessarily. Yeah, I don't have the number at all. Oh, but not inside the distance or
just knockout. I'm trying to find inside the distance.
Knockout. He's not going to get a sub, so I should go knockout. I'm going to go Oleksiejczuk TKO. I think he's going to pressure him. He's going to get in his face. He's going to make it really ugly for him, and we're going to see Pereira finally kind of get exposed a little bit. Even though I could see him having some good moments, hurting Oleksiejczuk. Oleksiejczuk's tough, man. He's walked through some good shots, brutal low kicks from Chidi, and a nice head kick that landed flush. He bounced back from them, and then he rocked Chidi back and forth. Right after that, and he's got good ground and pound. I like Oleksiejczuk here. I think this is a pretty good matchup for him, even though in some ways it's not the speed advantage, the athleticism advantage, or disadvantage, I guess I should say, for him. But I feel good. I like this spot here.
Definitely staying away for my own personal reasons, but just because I don't trust either one. I don't trust my Michel Pereira to not either have this crazy performance and knock him out, or to just look like a bum and get knocked out. So Pereira has 6 straight wins, though. That is the one thing that I keep going back to.
Yeah, he's been hot.
He looked good at 185. Somebody's got to cool him off, but I don't know if Oleksiejczuk is the guy. That's what I'm going back and forth with. But Oleksiejczuk has been, he's been tough. He's fought some real guys, throughout his UFC career, and he's lost some and he's won some, but he's always a tough out. So I'm gonna stay away. I don't need to bet every single fucking fight. I'm trying to tell myself that. Yeah, come on, Matt, you got this one.
But I will.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay away. So Felipe Lins, Jan Cutelaba, that guy. You want to talk about absolute trash can, but. Tanner Boser, he had a win against him the last time out. Where are we contesting this fight? Is this at 205?
This is 205.
Felipe Lins used to fight at heavyweight. Did he? Right?
Undefeated since he moved down.
That's right. He fought Arlovsky. He got knocked out by Tanner Boser, so that's
he did.
That's worth keeping an eye on. But Felipe Lins, he's coming off of a win against Maxime. Don't call me Forrest Griffin Grisham. That's a tough one. I don't like this fight at all, to be honest. -120 for Cutelaba, plus 100, 105 for Felipe Lins. If I had a side, I'd bet Felipe Lins.
I was going to, but man, I have to stay away from something. And he's 38. He's been knocked out 4 times.
Yeah,
both guys have been knocked out and finished. The problem is Cutelaba has a lot of finishes, especially early. His last win was against Tanner Boser in the first round. You know what I mean? Again, MMA math, not perfect, but just something to keep an eye on. Philip Lins, I do like his money line bet because I think he's pretty good all around. He's got a black belt, good wrestling, never been taken down in the UFC, and he used that a little bit to get the win over Marcin Prachnio. Like I said, I think he's just better all around. Kutelaba's only 30, so he's kind of technically in his prime, I guess. But he throws heat early, wants to take you down and ground and pound you. 4.75 takedowns per 15. Problem is his cardio goes after a round. He's early finisher bust. Probably has the worst fight IQ in the UFC. Yeah, just all that, all these narratives. I'm staying away with you. I'm gonna listen to you.
Yeah, I'm out. I don't. Felipe Lins is just not trustworthy.
I would take Lins, however.
So I agree. I just don't trust that he doesn't get caught and end up turning into a folding chair on the side of the octagon. So, How about this? This is one where you want to be around your television. And I'm not even joking, and it's usually not something I would say during a Josh Parmesan fight, but Robles de Spain. a Cuban Taekwondo practitioner, 4-0. All of his
Bronze
fights,
medalist.
ladies and gentlemen. The last fight, 4 seconds. The fight before that, 3 seconds. The fight before that, 12 seconds. And then that Malumba guy really made
His
him
debut.
work. Yeah, it made him
Yeah.
work. 4 minutes.
Pushed him against the cage the whole time.
54 seconds. So there you go. Right uppercut and hook. The rest of this has been punches. He is knocking people out all the time. Mr. Parmesan, I would hope, is going to try and implement some sort of wrestling game of some sort, but I don't know if that's the guy. I think this seems like a setup. He just got Kimura'd by Martin Budai last time out. So
Yeah.
this is a
very
guy
easily.
whose only wins are against Roque Martinez, Alan Badeau,
Split.
and Chad Ochocinco Johnson, which is what? No, it's not Ochocinco, but it was a guy named Chad Johnson. So listen, this is about
And a guy named Greg.
and a guy named Greg. So that's also a tough one. The Spain is a minus 350 favorite to Parmesan's plus 275, 270. His name is Parisian, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, but I will always call him Parmesan if you are a fan of this podcast. I like TKO in round one here, and I think it's minus 148, 150. I'm going to take it because I can't let this guy's debut go by without. Is under a half a round even available on here? I don't see it, so that's where I'm struggling to get a line here. But this is honestly an almost impossible fight to bet. But I got to have something, so I'm going to go TKO by Despain in round one minus 150.
I guess in his first fight, he was held against the cage for a while by a guy who was pretty much a tomato can. So that alone makes me think maybe Josh Parisian can do that. I mean, probably not. I mean, his wrestling is not good. He was absolutely outclassed and dominated in the wrestling department by Jamal Pogues, so that's not good. He went to a split with Roque Martinez, also not good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stay away here because I could see, what I would take is round one knockout for Despain, but
yeah,
I don't know. Too much is unknown.
Yep.
He's a big favorite. I'm going to stay away, but I think he probably ices him in the first round. I mean, his reach, he's a terrifying fella, that's for sure. I mean, he's so goddamn large and long and just, can do some jumpy shit. He is a little old, but that's not going to matter much here at heavyweight. So I think he gets it done early, but I'm going to stay away.
Now we have CJ Vergara. And you know what's funny? I just realized that I've been confusing Vinicius Salvador with Vinicius Oliveira this whole time.
The Vinicius.
That's tough.
The Vinicius is.
You didn't think there was that many of those guys, but yeah.
Yeah, they keep coming. There's probably going to be a couple more. So that's fun.
There you go. We got a Kazakhstan legend, Asul Almabayev. All right. Hello. He's getting in there. He's making his he did fight. Okay, that's right.
He ran through
Odie Osborne. That was in the summer.
Who ran through CJ Vergara?
Sandhagen and Font. Oh God, can't even
fact.
that. What do you say?
Odie Osborne ran through CJ Vergara a while back.
He did. CJ Vergara has looked good of recent. You just never know what version of that guy's going to show up as well, and I don't know him not enough about Mr. Almabayev. And CJ Vergara seems like he's always in a situation where he's a plus 400 underdog, and he makes it close. So I'm going to stay away from this.
Remember the Lacerda fight? He should have lost that Lacerda fight. Daniel Lacerda, the king of Brazil, should have got that round one knockout, but unfortunately he doesn't know how to win fights. No. So yeah, I think CJ Vergara is pretty good all around. Like he's pretty solid all around. I think his only big weakness is his takedown defense. He also has been submitted twice. Something to watch here. He's got good scrambles, pretty good get-up game. Like he'll get taken down, but he can get back up. His cardio seems pretty good. He seems to be tough, like he's a dog. Walking through some of the shit that he's walked through. Salvador is a tough guy. He hits hard. Lacerda, again, knocked him down twice, and he had a couple subs in deep in that first round. He bounced back and fucking smoked him in the second. Tatsuro Taira, he was hanging around for a little bit against him. The Clayton fight, he won, even though, if I remember correctly, I thought he lost. But either way, the fact he made it close and was able to win a fight where he was a big underdog is impressive. And the Bruto Korea fight, he walked through him like he should have. So I think Vergara is decent, honestly. I just don't know what his long-term potential is here. And I'm just going to say, I got Asu Almabayev by sub. I think he gets it done here. He's very small, but he's physically imposing, physically impressive, kind of cut, moves around a lot, has good kicks, not so sure about his boxing, but he swings like a wild man. so that's pretty good. I like his single leg body lock trip. I like that. He has a Peruvian necktie on his record, so the front choke sequence seems to be pretty deep, has a pretty deep bag, and he seems to have good cardio. Pushes a heavy pace. We'll see. This is a good test to test your cardio and pace here. I'm going Almabayo sub. I think he gets it done.
Almabayo sub plus 120 is what you're getting that at.
I like it.
I kind of like that too. I'm just too pussy to take it, so I'm gonna let you have fun out there. I just, like I said, there's so many times I've bet either against or for CJ Vergara, and out of nowhere, this guy just turns into prime Anderson Silva, or he's, can't even stop a takedown from me or you. Yeah. So it's, what are we doing? What's going on here? I'm going to stay away from that. And this is the first fight of the night, the last fight we are going to talk about. Joanne, don't call me Calder-Wood, to Marina Moroz, to the Iron Lady out of Ukraine. She's coming off of 2 straight losses, a guillotine by Karini Silva, and a loss to Jennifer Maia. Joanne Wood is coming off of, I believe, a loss, right? Split win. Should have been a loss, I thought, but
it wasn't great against Luana Carolina. Before that, she had 3 losses.
Yeah, I'm staying away from this as well. So
I'm not. You know why? Because Joanne Wood.
Oh boy.
Listen up. Joanne Wood. This is a rematch, by the way. 9 years in the making. By the way, Joanne Wood got armbarred very quickly in their first fight. What was I going to say? I have some. Hold on. Hey.
Whoa. Hey now.
Okay. So it seems like old habits don't die quickly with Joanne Wood. Her first loss. She got. I guess it didn't technically count because it was on the Ultimate Fighter. She lost to Rose. Okay, that was her first loss was the armbar. Okay, I'm thinking. I was mixing. No. Okay.
You good, man?
By Rose. I'm trying to. She's been submitted a lot. That's what I'm trying to cipher through them. So basically, what I'm trying to say is she's been submitted 6 times if you count the Rose one in the Ultimate Fighter. And her last 2 fights, she got rear naked choked by good fighters, Tyler Santos, Alexa Grasso. However, she's very tap headed. She will tap. Jennifer Maia armbarred her. She's just kind of insta tap. It seems like. And Marina Moroz. I think she has 6 subs. Arm triangle Maria Agapova, that was nasty. The win over Mayra Bueno Silva, I know, mixed feelings about how well that fight has aged, but I think it's aged pretty well.
Yeah.
Also, the problem I have with Moroz is her grappling is she gets 0.67 takedowns per 15 at a 22% clip, so that's not great. But Joanne defends only at 59%. I think Joanne has some decent Muay Thai, but it's just point fighting Muay Thai. She's 38. She's slowing down altogether. She has a lot of quit in her as it is. And I think Marina Moroz was actually doing pretty well against Karini Silva before that guillotine that she tapped very last minute. She has some quit in her too, Marina Moroz. She's only been submitted once, but her gas tank wears down. She loses decisions. I'm going Marina Moroz submission. I think she gets it done here and sends Joanne Wood packing.
Marina Moroz submission is plus 390. I am taking it as well because you convinced me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is UFC 299. I hope you all enjoy the card from top to bottom or bottom to top. And whatever you take that out, however you want, maybe. Side to side, yeah, with crisscross. And I hope it all goes our way and not yours. So there you go. I usually root for you people to win some bets out there, but I don't. If you're fading me, don't win. I hope you lose. So there's that. Before we get out of here, I did want to talk a little bit about Joshua and Ngannou. That's happening tomorrow in the afternoon at some time, I think, or probably in the evening. Who knows? And honestly, who really cares?
It might not happen at all.
So are you excited about this? Do you are you? I guess you're interested, right? But I don't think excitement maybe would be. Joshua's only a minus 300 favorite against Ngannou.
Seems kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm here to see if Francis can touch that chin of Joshua because it's been touched before, and you know how he reacts to that. I'm actually interested to see how Zhilei Zhang looks against Joseph Parker in the co-main. Zhilei Zhang is I don't even know. He's just it's just so random to see this guy come on. He looks like he's 50. He's 40. And I'm trying to think of his only loss. I think it was to Hrgović, who's now the champion. It's back-to-back wins over Joe Joyce. He's just had a very kind of unheralded career, and he's here now, dude. And he's here to bang. Joseph Parker somehow is only 32 years old, coming off a win, a big upset against Deontay Wilder, but that was just a gross fight in general. Deontay didn't want to fight, and he actually has a loss to Joe Joyce by knockout in a great fight. So I think Zag's going to put Parker out, get a knockout win, and potentially put himself in the running for a Usyk, Fury, Joshua, Ngannou fight, which would be huge money for a guy who nobody ever thought would, implement himself in the top 4, top 5 of the heavyweight division. So that's going to be cool. Also, the feature bout, Ray Vargas and Nick Ball, that's going to be a pretty good fight. I didn't even know this was taking place. Now, Ray Vargas getting a little old, coming off a loss to O'Shaquie Foster in a very good fight, but Nick Ball's pretty solid prospect out of Liverpool. His last fight, he unanimously walked through Isaac Dogbay. So that's going to be interesting to see. Does the young prospect break through, or does the vet give him a kind of a vet lesson? Israel Madrimov, my boy, at 154 is going to be in there. The Dream. He's coming off of a win against, I think it was Igbokwe. Before that, he was just putting people out. So he's pretty solid. He's fighting Magomed Kurbanov. Not too sure about the black line. He has a split over Michel Soro, who Madrimov, I think, beat the shit out of. So we'll see what happens there. Anybody else in this card that I am familiar with? It doesn't seem like it. Roman Fury. That's right, your boy. You said he's the best Fury of the bunch. He's going to be opening this card at 11 a.m.
Roman Fury. Like, do we know that guy? Like, does anybody know who the fuck that is?
I don't. That's for sure.
I definitely don't. But listen, I'll be watching. Tomorrow is a perfect time for me. I'll be getting done work. I'll just be chilling, watching that shit. So there you go. We have fights all weekend. Other than Sunday, you can enjoy your church and whatever you people do on Sunday.
Also, tomorrow I will be there live. CFFC 1:30.
Oh, that's right. Live reports.
Bad Matsurin Dorshiev, scary guy, scary name. I think his nickname is the Last Lotus, the Immortal Lotus. Even worse.
That's scary.
He's going to be fighting in the main event against Israel Galvan, who is 6-3. El Huracan. He looks like he's probably up against it. He does have a loss to Christian Natividad, the brother of Kevin. And a loss to what's this fellow's name? Taylor Alfaro, the brother of Jorge Alfaro. Will Rentz, local Tampa guy, he's going to be fighting on the main card. Hugh Pulley, I don't know if you remember that name.
Yeah.
I mentioned it a couple times. He fought Robert Hale. He fought Jonathan Webb, Drakkar Close, Jason Witt. He knocked out Jason Witt, knocked out Grant Dawson, but he's 35. He's going to be on this card as well against Blaine Richards, who I don't know if I've heard of. Emily Martins, she's pretty cute. She's going to be on this card. Dylan Potter, I feel like he fought somewhere in the UFC. Was he in the UFC? He was in PFL. He's going to be on this card. Brandon Let's Go Lewis, our boy, prelims. I hate to see my boy fall to the prelims of a
he's going to get a win.
Event. He has lost 3 of his last 4.
That's not
good. 2 in a row.
He's fighting has a 15-pack, so that's not good either.
His last win was by injury, so things have not been that great, But again, he did lose to Daniel Marcos on the Contender Series. Went the distance. That's kind of cool, right? But yeah, Michael, brother of Chauncey Billups, is going to be the guy he's taking. He's fighting, who is a kickboxer, has a kickboxing background, but he's come off a couple splits, so maybe he's not very good. Are you going to watch
all of these fights? Are you going to be there from beginning to end?
I believe, yeah. I'm gonna get there pretty early. I have the whole day off. Our guy Borserman Zumagul will be fighting. He's an amateur fighter fighting out of South Jersey, Web Fitness and MMA. Good friends with training partner Jay Watson, a close friend of mine who I've been friends with since we were fucking 10 years old. He's going to be fighting a fellow named Bill Lewis. So 2 undefeated amateurs. This guy, Boosterman, is a terrifying, huge welterweight, or a middleweight, 185. I think he's like 6'5". So
Jesus. That's
going to be interesting to watch him. If you're going to be, not doing anything tomorrow night, put this card on, dude. It's going to be a pretty good card, it looks like. It's very deep, very packed. A lot of interesting fighters. So I'm excited for it.
Is it on Fight Pass? Or do I have to pay for that?
I think it is. I think it's on
Fight
Fight Pass.
Yeah,
it should be on Fight Pass. Starts at. I think the doors open at 6. The first fight starts at 7. I'm going to be in there pretty early because Zumagul is the 3rd fight, I believe. But sometimes the orders you never know. I guess I'll figure out when I get there. But I'm going to bring a nice little
shuffles around.
Yeah, they're like, hey, let's just who knows? That's going to be my first CFFC event, my first MMA event in a long time since I think CFFC. I don't know when the last event I guess went to. It was either when Dawkins won on CFFC or when the UFC won, but that was like 2017. So
Down at the
yeah, I think
Florida
the
State
Dawkins
Fairgrounds.
the state fairgrounds, baby. I'm gonna bring a nice little 4-pack of neutrals,
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm gonna have myself a time. I'm excited.
Well, enjoy yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the UFC. Enjoy the Joshua and Ngannou. Enjoy it all. Enjoy
Everything. There's a
enjoy
lot
your
going
time
on.
off, ladies and gentlemen, if you have it off. And if you're working, enjoy your time as well. Because fuck it, why not? So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt McSweeney. This has been the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. His name is
Ty Capone, and as always, make sure you bet responsibly, drink responsibly. However, make sure you hammer Sean O'Malley, TKO, and still.
Yee.